There were at least 30 people on my front lawn, all holding paper plates and looking way too excited. Some had plastic forks, others brought soda bottles, and one guy even came with his own Tupperware container, like he thought this was a wedding buffet. A toddler stood at the edge of the porch, licking his lips like he smelled cake. An old lady waved at me with the confidence of someone who thought she was supposed to be there. And at the front of the crowd stood Karen. Clipboard in hand, oversized sunglasses, big fake pearls around her neck. She looked like she was running a political campaign, and I was her venue. I was still in my slippers. I hadn't invited a single one of them. Before I could even ask what was going on, someone in the back yelled, "Barbecue time, baby!" And the whole crowd clapped like I was a celebrity chef about to go live. That's when it hit me. This wasn't some mix-up or casual drop-in. This was a planned invasion, and the person who planned it was standing right there, smiling like she owned the place. This wasn't a misunderstanding. It was an ambush. 2 days before the lawn looked like a drive-through gone wrong, I was in my backyard, just trying to relax. I'd planned a small barbecue for 5 close friends. Nothing crazy. Just some wings, a few burgers, maybe ribs if I felt fancy. I'd cleaned the grill, set out the picnic table, even strung up some lights. It wasn't a party, it was therapy. After a long week, cooking was the one thing that helped me shut my brain off. That piece lasted about 12 minutes. Then Karen showed up. She didn't knock, didn't call, just walked through the side gate like she lived here. Her heels hit the patio like a warning. I turned around, still holding a bowl of marinated chicken, and there she was, scanning the setup like a real estate agent. "Oh, perfect," she said. "You're doing the HOA buffet." I blinked. "The what?" She smiled and started typing on her phone. "Don't worry, I already sent the flyers. It's called Barbecue and Brews in the Backyard. It's going to be amazing. People are so excited." I just stared at her, feeling my brain short-circuit. She wasn't asking me. She was announcing it like it was already fact. That's when I realized Karen had just signed me up to host a neighborhood-wide cookout. Without asking. That night, my phone wouldn't stop buzzing. At first, I thought maybe it was just group chats being annoying, but then I saw the messages. "What time does the buffet start? Can I bring my dog? I'll bring wine, but I don't share." One message just said, "Excited for the unlimited wings," with way too many exclamation marks. I opened one, then another, then realized I had over 25 unread texts from people I barely knew. That's when someone sent me a photo of a flyer taped up at the community pool. Big, bold letters. "Free BBQ, unlimited wings, hosted by Jack." Below it was a stock photo of a backyard that wasn't even mine. Karen had even added a line about fun for the whole family. My face went hot. I sat on the couch, staring at my phone like it had just betrayed me. This wasn't some casual misunderstanding. Karen had printed flyers, told the whole neighborhood, and used my name like I was some party sponsor. She didn't just hijack my grill, she hijacked my sanity. The next morning, I opened my spice cabinet to grab some seasoning, and that's when I saw them. My old bag of ghost peppers. Bright red, dried, and just sitting there like little warning signs. That's when the idea hit me. I wasn't going to cancel. That would have let Karen win. No, I was going to cook exactly what she asked for, but with a twist so hot it would burn the smug right off her face. I grabbed my phone and called Raj, my old college roommate who now runs a pepper farm. He answered on the second ring. "Let me guess, Karen again?" I didn't even have to explain. He started laughing and promised to overnight me his hottest batch, plus a bottle of something called Devil's Elbow. Sounded painful. Perfect. The plan was simple. 2 trays. One with regular friendly wings for my 5 actual friends, the people I'd originally invited. And the other? A tray full of ghost pepper-coated, fire-breathing, taste-bud-destroying wings? I even started thinking of names. Inferno platter had a nice ring to it. Karen wanted to throw a barbecue? Fine, I'd give her one. But I'd be the one choosing the heat level. I treated the setup like I was preparing for a mission, not a barbecue. First, I dusted off my old GoPros and charged them all overnight. I wanted every angle covered. The grill, the buffet table, the porch, even one across the street for a wide shot. I hid them inside fake birdhouses, behind flower pots, and one inside an old lantern. Nobody would notice, but the footage would catch everything. Next came the food. I made 2 full batches of wings. The first batch, regular, totally harmless, went into a cooler labeled reserved for invited guests. That cooler was getting tucked in the back corner where only my real friends would find it. The second batch, the one soaked in ghost pepper sauce and dusted with crushed Carolina Reapers, got the main spotlight. I arranged it neatly on a metal tray and placed it right in the center of the buffet table. Then came the signs. Big red letters, Inferno Wings, Extreme Heat, Eat at your own risk. Underneath that, in smaller print, not for kids, no, seriously. Just to cover myself, I also printed out waiver slips and stuck a little basket of them next to the tray. If anyone tried to blame me later, I had backup. By the time I finished, the yard looked like a normal party setup. But it wasn't. It was a trap. And Karen had already walked right into it. They started showing up before I even finished setting up the napkins. A couple I'd never met walked in with folding chairs like they were invited, smiling like this was their cousin's graduation party. Karen said you'd need help setting up, the woman chirped, holding a reusable plate with pineapples on the rim. I nodded and pointed to the fire pit, trying not to roll my eyes. Within 30 minutes, my backyard didn't look like a barbecue. It looked like a neighborhood festival. Someone brought a speaker and started blasting pop music. Kids ran across my lawn, knocking over my garden gnome while chasing a beach ball. A teenager shouted, "Who brought the karaoke mic?" And suddenly, 3 more people were helping themselves to drinks I didn't offer. And then, like a movie villain making a late entrance, Karen arrived, clipboard in one hand, Bluetooth headset on, sun hat with a ribbon. She walked in like she was directing a concert, pointing at tables and barking out instructions. "Drinks go there, keep the food flowing. Jay, I'll need the garden hose near the swing set, just in case kids get sticky." I didn't even respond. I didn't have to. The wings were ready. The moment came fast. People crowded the buffet, grabbing plates and loading up on the glowing red wings like they were candy. I stood behind the grill, handing out napkins with a smile. "Are they sweet or spicy?" someone asked. "A little of both," I said. Then I saw Karen grab 3 of them like she was trying to prove a point. She took one bite, and everything changed. Her eyes widened. Her hand froze mid-air. The clipboard slipped. The first wave had hit, and the real chaos was just beginning. It started with Karen's face. 1 second she was chewing with that smug little grin. The next she froze. Eyes wide, lips twitching, cheeks turning red like someone had hit a switch. Sweat started rolling down her forehead, and she grabbed her clipboard, trying to fan herself like that would help. It didn't. The headset slipped off her ear and dangled uselessly as she reached for the nearest soda. Bad move. The fizz made it worse. Then the others started to feel it. A guy in a muscle tank let out a cough so hard he knocked over the salsa bowl. A woman screamed, "It's fire chicken!" and threw her plate straight into the bushes. One teenager yelled, "Why is my face melting?" and ran circles around the picnic table like that would cool him off. Somebody turned on the garden hose and tried to spray it directly into their mouth. The stream missed and hit someone's flip-flop. That started an argument. Karen was wobbling now, eyes watery, lipstick smeared, holding her throat like she swallowed lava. She stumbled over to me, pointed with shaking fingers, and rasped, "What did you put in those?" I didn't even blink. "They're ghost pepper wings, Karen," I said, calmly gesturing to the sign. "Didn't you read the label?" I pointed to the stack of waivers flapping gently in the breeze. She squinted at them, then back at me, mouth still open but no words coming out. The cameras caught every second. Every panicked scream, every wild run for milk, every face turning red and sweaty like they'd just licked the sun. I just stood there behind the grill, handing out wet napkins, smiling like I'd been waiting for this moment all week. Because I had. That night, once the backyard was finally empty and the ghost pepper smell had faded a little, I sat down with my laptop and started going through the footage. Every camera angle had done its job. Karen's meltdown, the hose incident, the guy crying under the patio umbrella. It was all there, crystal clear. I didn't add music, no funny edits, just raw clips, cut together with simple captions like "waiver table, clearly visible," and "man tries to put out tongue fire with soda." I titled the video "The Ghost Wing Incident" and uploaded it to my food blog and YouTube channel. I didn't expect much, just wanted proof in case Karen tried anything. But within an hour, it had 50 views. Then it jumped to 4,000. By the time I sat down for dinner, it had hit 25,000 and was climbing fast. The comments were wild. Some people thought it was the funniest thing they'd ever seen. Others called it borderline chemical warfare. One guy asked for the recipe. Another offered to send me a gas mask for future cookouts. I even got messages from hot sauce brands and prank video pages wanting to collab. And right on schedule, Karen filed a complaint with the HOA. The HOA called an emergency meeting on Friday. It was held in the library room behind the pool, but they acted like it was a real courtroom. Karen showed up dressed like she was going to trial, dragging some guy in a wrinkled suit who looked like he borrowed it for the day. I'm pretty sure he was her cousin, not a lawyer, but he had a folder and a serious face, so I guess that counted. Karen stood up first, all dramatic, and started talking about how the ghost wings caused psychological harm, public humiliation, and even claimed her lipstick had melted and fused to her upper lip. Her cousin added words like negligence and emotional distress, like he was reading them off a cereal box. When it was my turn, I didn't say much. I just pulled out printed stills from the video, clear shots of the warning signs, the tray labels, and the waiver slips stacked next to the wings. The board leaned in. One of them raised an eyebrow. Another just shook his head. Then I pointed out that I never invited anyone besides 5 friends. Karen had planned and advertised the whole thing without telling me. She even admitted to making the flyer. The room went quiet. Karen's face tightened. Her lawyer fumbled with his papers. And just like that, the board ruled in my favor. Karen stood up so fast her chair fell over. She stormed out without saying a word. I sat back, took a sip of water, and enjoyed the silence. A week after the hearing, Karen tried to do damage control. She invited the whole neighborhood to what she called an apology brunch at the community center. But word got around fast. She wasn't planning to apologize. She was planning to show an edited video that made her look like the victim and me like some spice-obsessed villain. So I got there early. I brought a small projector, my laptop, and the full, uncut footage from all 4 GoPros. No edits, no music, just real-time chaos from BBQ Day. The community center manager didn't ask questions. He just let me plug it in and hit play. People started arriving, sipping juice and eating tiny quiches when the video filled the room. It started with Karen walking in like a party host, giving orders, smiling for the camera. Then came the wings, the warning signs, the waivers, her first bite, her face melting. At first there was silence. Then someone snorted. Then laughter spread like wildfire. One guy clapped. A woman nearly spit out her mimosa. Karen walked in halfway through. She froze in the doorway, holding a tray of muffins. Her mouth dropped open. People turned. She didn't say a word, just slowly backed out and left the tray on a table. I let the video loop one more time. No one stopped it. The last shot showed Karen sweating, fanning her tongue with a napkin, while the words, "Eat at your own risk," glowed behind her. The room applauded like they were at a movie. And just like that, brunch was over. After the brunch disaster, Karen disappeared. No more clipboard walks. No more passive-aggressive posts in the community forum. Just silence. And honestly, it was kind of nice. The neighborhood felt calmer, like everyone had taken a deep breath at the same time. A few days later, someone left cookies on my porch, shaped like little flames. Another neighbor drew a cartoon of Karen breathing fire and taped it to my mailbox. Even the HOA, which had once treated me like a problem, sent an official invite asking if I'd headline the annual community cook-off. This time I kept it simple. No ghost peppers, no tricks, just good food and clear labels. Wings, ribs, veggie skewers, the kind of meal that made people smile, not sprint for a garden hose. And right in the middle of the crowd, quiet as ever, stood Karen. No sun hat, no clipboard, just jeans and a plate of food. She nodded once. I nodded back. That night, I sat on the porch, updated my blog tagline to "Recipes for everyone, unless Karen's involved." Max wagged his tail like he agreed. The fire's out, but the flavor? That'll last forever.